analysis, you won't find better screen space reflections than here. Brake lights, street lights, and more all reflect on the roads and whatever damp surfaces you happen to drive by, thanks to screen space voxel calculation. The lighting effects in-game are further enhanced by chromatic aberration, and while we're somewhat divided